Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance Gil Teixeira, in a statement days after Transparency International released its 2024 report, criticized the methodology used, warning against the misinterpretation of Guyana's ranking. Minister Teixeira acknowledged that corruption remains a critical issue, but argued that the Corruption Perceptions Index (CPI), which is based on perceptions rather than empirical data, is not a reliable tool for assessing corruption. She pointed out that the index aggregates opinions from 13 sources provided by 12 institutions, some of which explicitly state that the ratings are subjective. In Guyana's case, 5 sources from 2022 to 2024 were used, with scores ranging from 38 to 44. Teixeira stressed that these figures do not represent actual corruption, but rather public perception, which can be shaped by media narratives, political biases, and socio-economic factors. The minister also raised concerns about inherent biases in the CPI, noting that a majority of countries that fund Transparency International consistently receive higher scores, while nations in the Global South, which do not contribute to TI's funding, tend to rank poorly. She questioned whether there was a conflict of interest in the process, calling for a more objective and evidence-based approach to ascertain corruption worldwide. Despite criticism of the index, Teixeira highlighted that Guyana has been recognized as a significant improver over the past decade in the same CPI report. She emphasized the efforts to strengthen governance and anti-corruption mechanisms, pointing to key reforms, legislative changes, and institutional oversight improvements. Some of these measures include the establishment of the National Coordinating Committee on the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, increased the funding for oversight bodies, and transparency initiatives such as the publication of tender awards by the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board. Just last week, President Irfan Ali strongly criticized the organization, calling it dishonest and misleading, after the body released its 2024 report, scoring Guyana 39 out of 100 countries on the Corruption Perceptions Index. Ali also noted that inconsistency in Transparency International's rankings, stating that Guyana received a higher score in 2020, despite widespread allegations of corruption, misappropriation of funds, and alleged electoral fraud under the previous administration. In 2020, Guyana scored 40 and ranked 85 out of 180 countries on the Corruption Perception Index. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.